What's up, crew? Welcome back, or welcome to the Daily Multivitamin. Created this podcast so that you could have a daily supplement that perhaps helps you change your thinking, which will help transform your life. And today, I wanted to actually discuss something that is one of the greatest hijackers of a transformed life, one of the greatest hijackers of a life well lived, and that is this one word, anger, and all that comes with that emotion. It's my belief that for the most part, anger is a toxin that degrades meaningful relationships and really significantly impairs effective decision making. And there's an old saying that make a statement when you're angry and it'll be the statement that you regret the most. And in my experience, there's more regret that attaches itself to anger than there is gratefulness. I don't know that I've ever had, maybe once when I had to bury my son, but I don't know that I've ever experienced righteous anger without a hint of unhelpful and unrighteous anger. It really is, for the most part, a toxin that erodes relationships and impairs effective decision making. Just think about how anger functions in your life. Does it not actually unleash chaos and disintegration in your life more than it brings peace and prosperity? I think we all would agree that it does. Think about the disintegrating power that it has unleashed in your own personal relationships, even with your own self. If you're angry at yourself in any particular area, does that produce an empowered state where you're able to think with peace and calmness and clarity, or does it produce a disempowering state where you feel more at chaos within, where you literally feel as though you're disintegrating from within? Anger is that toxin. So how do we address it? Number one, I think the most important step is to actually be aware when we feel anger and to reframe anger as unhelpful and toxic, not as helpful and a natural release of what we're feeling. Sometimes we just do what we do because anger is released. And yet we don't take the time to realize that if I say what I'm about to say, or if I do what I'm about to do, the story that I'm going to tell is going to be a story of regret, not a story of gratefulness. So let's not tell that story. So number one is to be aware and to reframe by reminding ourselves that anger does not produce the kind of story that we want to have told over our lives. Number two, I want to encourage you to think about it in this way. My adversary is not the person in front of me, but the situation that is present. The adversary is not the person, but it is the situation. I have found this way of looking at the world to be particularly effective, especially when it comes to influence. I'm in real estate sales, where the commodity that I'm dealing with is inherently personal, which makes these conversations even all the more difficult, and where anger can at times be the norm. Anger never helps. Anger never produces what we want. And yet, if I allow myself to be angry at the person, it is not going to be a very productive or effective way to handle the situation. If, however, I see it as the situation, as the challenge, and not the person, I suddenly become that much more collaborative, as does my counterpart, and a lot more calm and really effective. And so I want to leave you with these two things as a way to address the anger that you feel. Number one, realize that it is unhelpful and unproductive, that it is a toxin that erodes personal relationships and impairs effective decision making. So be very careful, if not flat out committed, to making sure anger does not get unleashed in and through your life. Number two is to reframe the way you look at the situation, not as the person is the adversary, but the situation. Hope you all have a great day. Make it a great one. Peace.